of violent nature. So the basic idea of this film is essentially you're watching a Friday the 13th movie that is 75% from the perspective of Jason Voorhees, or as the character in this is called, Johnny. And so it's almost doing like a video game third-person shot during a large percentage of the runtime as you're following him around doing these kills. And as I mentioned before, whereas I thought that Blackout was an not particularly interesting, poorly made film, I think In the Violent Nature doesn't fully work for me, but it's an interesting experiment. If you're a slasher fan, if you're a fan in particular of Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees, I very much recommend you check it out just to see how you connect with it, because it's worth experiencing, because it's just different. I haven't seen a movie like this before. I haven't seen a slasher like this before, and so it's worth checking out. Does it fully work? Well, no, it does not. And the primary big gigantic reason for that is a large percentage of what Jason Voorhees, or as the character is known in this, Johnny, does is just walk through the woods. And so I believe even from the trailer footage that you're seeing, a very large percentage of the film is just this character walking through the woods. And before it started and during the Q&A afterwards, they kept making joke about how soothing the movie was, because it's just him walking through the woods with this like consistent metronome sound that's soothing. And we watched it. This was the fifth movie that we watched on Friday. It was late at night, so we're all like being lulled into sleep mode watching this. And it's just a lot of watching him walk. And when the kills happen, a number of them are quite good. One of them, the yoga kill, is an all-timer. That coming out of the movie, everyone was talking about the yoga kill.
In a Violent Nature had one of the gnarliest kill scenes I've ever seen. So that was a fun time.
It's inventive, it's clever. Like they very much went all out on this one kill. And there's a few other ones where they did some cool stuff. And in the Q&A, they talked about how they used, practical effects, but just, CGI for the last 2%. And that last 2% makes all the difference to make something feel real without compromising the practicality of everything like that. And so there's good stuff in there. And it's a cool experience to just kind of see something a little bit different. But when you watch a slasher from the perspective of the killer, all tension is removed, because you're following the person that's going to kill the person. Like use your point of view, so you know who's about to die. You know what's about to happen, and so all the tension is removed. And I said the movie's about 75% from his perspective, and there's kind of like towards the end, there's a section where you do get the perspective of some of the non-killer characters, and immediately you feel tension. And you hadn't noticed how absent the film was of tension until it switches perspective, and you're like, oh crap. And you realize one of the ways in which the movie didn't work. It was lacking tension. You're just slowly, it's like watching the Friday the 13th video game, watching your friend play it. The Friday the 13th video game, walks up and kills people. But if you're a slasher fan, it's worth experiencing at least once. In particular, Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees, worth checking out. There is an all-time kill in here. Couple other good ones. Oh, and once again, like with Blackout, there's some unbelievably stupid character logic. Later, there's one point in time where you're just like, are you kidding me? This is the way that where the plot is progressing is because of this stupidity right here. But an experiment worth checking out once, but I don't think it fully works.